The Atari 2600 often required some very ingenious coding. For example, the original Space Invaders had 55 aliens at the beginning, and if you were a modern programmer, you'd probably assume that for each alien you'd use 1 byte for the X location, 1 byte for Y, and at least 1 byte for the state, such as, what shape of alien it is, and perhaps if the alien is alive or dead. You multiply that by 55 aliens, and you would need 165 bytes just for that, to say nothing else about the rest of the variables you'd need to store for the game. But the Atari 2600 only had 128 bytes of RAM total, so how would you even begin to do a game like Space Invaders? Well, for starters, they reduced the number of aliens down to 36. But that would still work out to 108 bytes, which wouldn't allow enough RAM for the rest of the game variables. But would you believe it is possible to store it all in just 7 bytes? Yeah, it's crazy. Apparently, you only need to store the position of a single alien, and since they're always the same distance apart, it's possible to mathematically calculate the positions of the rest of them by relevant position alone. As far as the state, since the type of alien is always the same based on what row it sits in, that can be calculated on the fly too, so the only thing left you need to know is if the alien is alive or dead, and for that you only need one single bit, so alive aliens are 1 and dead ones are 0, and thus you only need 5 bytes to store the states. And remember, we always have an Atari 2600 with a multi-cart set up at the time ref for you to play.